Welcome to the following presentation of Minor League Esports on the MLE Network.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. My name is Maple, and I would like to welcome you here to MLE Sunday. We are brought to you by APM Music. And with me, joining as the awesome host and the play-by-play is Bass from the Past. Bass, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm very excited to be here. We've got some great squads about to hit the pitch here, and despite the little bit of delay that we do apologize for this first game, I think this is going to be a great series nonetheless.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be a solid series. We're starting with Academy League play between the Knights and the Hurricanes, and just so everybody out there knows, we're actually only going to play 4 games today because the Hurricanes could not field a team within the time allotted as per the broadcast rulebook, and as such, the first game will be NCP'd in favor of the Knights. So today we will see games 2 through 5.
Which is, it's still going to be a great series nonetheless. You know, every once in a while you do have a little bit of conflicts that come up. Sometimes real life sort of gets in the way of things, and we never want to make too many assumptions about what's going on. It is an unfortunate scenario, but that one-game advantage is not always a death sentence. We do see it every once in a while with teams that in a grand finale, they have that one-game disadvantage come from a lower bracket, and they're still able to pull through. So, should be a phenomenal series no matter what.
I think it's going to be a great series, and we've got a couple of teams. Now, I really think, based on looking at the stats and the series record, that we're probably favoring the Knights today. Their regular season record is 22-18, but their series record is 6-2, and that's really big for them. However, looking over at the Hurricanes, their regular season record is 18-17, so very close. Their series record is 3-4, so a little bit of a losing record, but I still think that both teams have a huge ability and capacity here to show us some great ACAD level play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both of these squads are really, really strong. This should be a great competition nonetheless. No matter who comes out on top here, it's going to be a very important game because, like you said, they're two teams that have near a positive record or very close to at least 50-50. So it's going to come down to really how well they do in this series in terms of games. As much as we want to say, you know, the series could go one way or the other, if you end up having a 4-0 series going one way, it's going to be a lot worse than it going 3-2. So for right now, for the teams trying to figure this one out, as we did say, you know, that first game is going to be forfeited, so the Hurricanes are already one behind. It's going to be about trying to recover from here on out. Try to get this as even as possible, and as we go into game number 1, that has got to be what's in their mind here. You got the Hurricanes in the green, the Knights in the red. It looks like the first team on attack is going to be the Hurricanes, but they put it off target. First shot goes into the backboard, and already here, Maple, we can see the Hurricanes off to a very strong start.
Yeah, the Hurricanes are really off to a strong start, already making some pushes and trying to put that goal in the net. And the Hurricanes are joined by their third player, who was a last-minute signing just so that they could field a team, and that is not Sir T. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how not Sir T is able to impact the Hurricane squad and see how they fit in.
100%. It's going to be interesting. Definitely this first game is going to be a lot of feeling out, but that's usually how a first game goes. So for right now, Hurricanes are just going to try to get an offense together here. We'll do so at the midfield links reg. Just going to try and pop that one out to the side, but Mercury is waiting. Back and forth they go so far here. Neither squad getting that great of a possession here. They're trying to build something up, but maybe this pass will be enough. Cut off, though, and a save does arrive. The Knights survive for now, and we go back to this little bit of ping-pong back and forth as another shot goes on target, but Sir T can easily clear that one out. Mercury will be waiting out at midfield. Again, neither squad really having a very developed play so far here, Maple. It's a lot of very heavy touches that don't necessarily get followed up all that well.
Yeah, you're right. The touches so far are reminding me of a game of ping pong, right? Back and forth, and we haven't really seen any sort of super strategic plays or any great passing plays forming. Now, I think that the Hurricanes are at a little bit of a disadvantage with a third that they're not used to, but let's see how things progress because the Knights here are buzzing a little bit, and I think that they I think their intention is to pull out the shield and sword and really push some pressure onto the Hurricanes.
My word, and they're really going to have to do so as they're enduring a plethora of shots right now. Hurricanes, multiple shots just barely going off target. 3 so far here in the 2 minutes of play, but they need to get one on target. There's no two ways about it. Their accuracy is holding them back. Definitely could have been up 1-0 here, and as they launch one to the center, that's going to be the end of that attack. Knights with an easy clear. Question is can they at least launch their own attack? Doesn't really look like it. Again, heavy touches on both sides of the field. Neither team able to control the ball too well here. Pace of play very, very quick. And this happens every once in a while, Maple, where teams try to play a really, really quick ball game, but sometimes just a bit too quick. And is this one of those instances? No, it is not. The defense scrambles, and the Hurricanes are the first ones to give up a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Frog Dog here makes a little bit of a mistake. Look, a player's coming in. Frog Dog sits on the wall, tries to get a touch and doesn't. The ball comes right out to the middle. First goal gets punched in here by Mr. Green Jeans. 1-0 already for the Knights, but half the game is already gone. So let's see how this continues to play out.
There's plenty of time for the Hurricanes to try and bring this one back, and as they've had multiple good shots, they should be able to keep themselves within this one, but the Knights starting to look a little bit hotter on offense here. Another shot that just barely goes off target, but they're at least going to be able to extend this offense here as Green Jeans is going to pop it to the center. Surtee, though, actually going to get there by themselves. Good flick, and Mercury is the only one back. We're starting to see the impact of the super sub right now. The Hurricanes not necessarily super comfortable with Surtee on the field, but he seems extremely comfortable with himself as he's going up for another aerial, continuing to dictate the pace of play on offense. And Hurricanes, they might have found a really good super sub here.
They might have found themselves a diamond in the rough because Mr. T is, or Sir, sorry, not Sir T, I apologize, is really putting a lot of pressure on these players. And in AL, almost actually puts a ceiling or an air dribble, into the net. So really good play here as the Hurricanes continue to push the Knights to see if they can tie this game up.
Knights, unfortunately, enduring a lot of offensive pressure here. They've got to break out pretty quickly because we've seen this before. Awkward defenses can break apart and leave an opening for a goal pretty quickly. And, uh-oh, this might be another one of them. Misses on the back half, and Mr. Green Jeans will indeed put it in. And, Maple, you can see this one developing from the minute that this one got into the corner.
Yeah, you absolutely could. So Not Sir T misses that read in the corner and ends up having to be the one to go back. So it looks like there's a Hurricane player missing off the back post, not there to try and make that save, or maybe a pinch with Not Sir T who's coming from the opposite direction. And as a result, we see the first goal. Or sorry, I apologize, the second goal for Mr. Green Jeans, who finds himself in that number 2 slot and is able to close the game.
And we're still seeing one other big issue right now for the Hurricanes. They've had multiple shots here, a plethora of them. This one might finally go on target. Indeed, it will. And there, in my opinion, is probably the best shot we've seen all day from the Hurricanes here. They have struggled with accuracy, but finally, Maple, they do put one on target.
They absolutely do. And Frog Dog is sitting here coming in from the backfield. Good solid number 3 on the support position. Just hits that ball towards the net, likely not intending to put that in. I mean, we all want those goals to go in, or those shots to go in, but likely not intending, just to create a little bit of pressure. And sure enough, everybody gets caught flat-footed watching, and it's only a 1-goal game now, but only 35 seconds left. Let's see if the Hurricanes can pull this one out and I guess tie up the series.
Woo! And indeed they will. That's a phenomenal touch to get that one back into the center. The super sub doing it again. Frog Dog leaves this one up, and Sir T will just lightly pop it in. 2-2 here, 30 seconds remaining, and things have gone from bad to worse for the Knights here after holding on to a lead for a majority of this game, giving 2 goals up back-to-back. You got to imagine that their momentum is entirely gone. They got to keep themselves in this one mentally, and as they do get one more offense, hopefully they can at least get another shot on goal, but hesitation on the back end here. Sir Holt just decides to pop this all the way across, and neither team seemingly trying to get a possession here to end this game. Maybe Sir T can do something from the corner instead. Sir Holt does get in the way, and I think this shot will be on target, but the save from Sir T will keep the dream alive, and overtime we go. A tense ending there, but the Hurricanes seemingly in control for now.
Yeah, the Hurricanes definitely are in control for now. They've got significantly more shots with 8. Well, I guess not significantly more shots, really only 1 more, but I think they're more quality shots in the last probably minute of the game. So Sir T really, really pulling it out, and I wonder if they keep this signing after this game, as this player really is making an impact without knowing or being comfortable with the other team.
Yeah, for this being their first game really getting on the pitch and getting into an environment like this is incredibly impressive. He is figuring out exactly where they need to be, and it's a good start so far here, but unfortunately for the Hurricanes, as we mentioned, they are down by a game, so this is a crucial one for them. They don't win this one, their opponents are going to be on series point to where they can guarantee the win even if they don't win the last couple of games, so very important game for the Hurricanes. Can they try and secure this here right now? As this one goes up, though, it doesn't really look like anybody's going to touch it. Instead, it's just awkwardness out at midfield. Sir T tries to bail them out, but instead, Old Space is going to get in the way. X-Ray, though, pops it back out to midfield once again, and we are back to these heavy touches, Maple. This has been an issue for both teams. They're not necessarily developing the plays too accurately. Instead, just heavy touches that kind of go to no man's land.
Yeah, we're not seeing any real control on the field. Like you said, these heavy touches are simply them banging it back and forth. I mean, that little shot that kind of went off the post there is the closest thing that we've had to any sort of real aggro, I guess, or aggression from one team. But as I say that, Sir Holdspace off the backboard to himself, punches that ball in the net to win game number 1, and the Knights are already up 2-0 in this exciting series.
And I gotta feel bad there for Frog Dog. It's an error that we have all fallen victim to here, and it costed them the game. Knights take game number 2 technically here, putting themselves on series point, and Frog Dog just cheated a little bit too far at a goal on that one, Maple. There's not too much else to say besides that. When you're gonna play a rotation like that where you do have multiple players on defense, you need at least one person behind the line in goal. There's no two ways about it. If someone's going to cheat, you need to have someone behind them in case it goes wrong, and they just didn't prepare for the worst case scenario there, which led the Hurricanes to a completely open net, and a good shot from the Knights will secure it. This is definitely an even series, though. Hurricanes, they had game number 1 to really get comfortable with these three-man lineup, and I think they are actually there. This could be a series where they start to find their flow during the second half.
I agree with you. I think Not Sir T is actually is absolutely phenomenal, playing really, really well. Had 4 shots already in that first game and 2 big saves, which that was at a time when the Knights were just peppering. So some really solid rotations on the Hurricanes side. I'm actually surprised. I thought the Hurricanes were going to pull this one out. It was kind of going to be that neat story, but you know what? The reverse sweep is definitely still here. Definitely something that we could see, and I think you keep saying that he's the super sub. I agree with that. I think they're already making a huge difference, and I'm really curious to see here how Game 3 is going to go as we get ready to watch our players take the field.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I love the word super sub because it really is one of these things where you're going to just give them the most confidence possible. A lot of subs come into environments like this, and they're a little bit nervous. They feel like, oh, am I going to be able to live up to the expectations? But just got to put that good juju into the air. Make sure they feel that they can be a good player on the pitch, because I think that they can. So far, we have been shown that Not Sir T can be a great player on the field, but it's all going to come down to this one. If the Hurricanes lose game number 3, they will not be able to secure themselves the series. At minimum, they will just bring themselves within 1 goal for that game differential. And we were saying this earlier, though, both of these teams, game differential wise, only a couple of them separating, Maple, so this is a very important series.
This is a really important series, and I think that for the Hurricanes, they almost really need to win this series because they only had an 18-17 record coming in. Now that's assuming that there were no games that were kind of already played this weekend and maybe just not quite in the records yet. But for the Knights, they're 22-18, and in fact now they'll be 24-18. So a 6-game kind of positive, I guess, in that differential. So I agree, it's an important game for either team that are trying to chase the playoffs and chase that dream and keep it alive. I think they need to win this series. So the Hurricanes definitely have a good reason to keep pushing and to try and take advantage of the skill that this new player has.
Oh, my word, but it's not the new player doing it today. It's actually going to be Lynx Ray who's going to secure the first goal of game number 3. This is a great angle. It's a great shot. Space was there, but a little bit too far pushed out, and that's one of the things you can take advantage of, especially here in Academy League, is that the defenses are not necessarily going to be otherworldly. They're not going to be poor, but if you can get them a little bit panicked, it does take a second for them to recover. So Hurricanes doing a great job of that there early, putting shot after shot after shot and keeping the pressure up. Question is can they keep this momentum alive here? Because with almost 4 minutes remaining and only a 1-goal lead, this game is nowhere near out of hand yet. If the Knights can score right now, they might just put themselves back into it, and indeed they will. Mercury with a double touch off the backboard, and we are all tied up once again.
That was a great double touch from Mercury, who puts it in on the right post, who puts it off the right post, gets that second touch to throw that in the net, tying up the game, 1-1. I mean, this game is still wide open. With a 1-goal lead, it was still wide open, but even more so now. And I'm really curious to see how the Hurricanes are going to respond to this, or if the Knights are going to take this momentum and the momentum they've got from the previous game and just take this series quickly and put any question or any doubt to rest as to which team's going to take this.
Would not be surprised if one of the two teams starts to just really take the momentum in their favor, but we're going to have to find out. Frog Dog is for now going to try and send this one to the center where his teammate was waiting. Lynx Ray on the back has to endure a 1v1, and no one home for the follow-up. Mercury off the backboard. Can we get a shot? No, just barely off target. Not sure if Mercury knew that that one was completely wide open. If they had put that touch just a little bit lower, they probably would have secured the goal, but instead they're going to have to go back to the drawing board as the Knights are pushed into their own half, and Lynx Ray will instead put one off the backboard. Frog Dog has the shot, but Mercury has the save. Surtee there to at least clean it up and keep the offense alive, but Hurricanes are starting to look a little bit more deadly on offense. They are putting out a ton of shots, and the Knights enduring a plethora of balls going off the backboard. Eventually one of these is going to go on target, Maple, and when that happens, I'm not so sure if the Knights have the defense necessary to stop it.
No, I wonder the exact same thing. The Knights have been doing okay, but a lot of that is because the Hurricanes' shots have been peppering the posts and the crossbar and not as much peppering the player that is covering the net. So I'm really curious to see if once the Hurricanes are able to get some more offense going, if indeed they do score. And, you know, there was a prior play where we almost saw Mercury get another goal, and I really wonder, I think they might have seen that the net was wide open, because it was absolutely open. The problem was they couldn't rotate their car, and I'm not quite sure if they're just not used to that mechanic or not, but by rotating that car upside down, they would have had the angle to pop that in net. So there's something that, you know, we don't necessarily see in ACAD or an Academy League here is those advanced mechanics, like flipping cars over on their engines.
Yeah, it happens every once in a while. Again, mechanics are not necessary to be the best of the best. They are going to be a helpful tool every once in a while, but at the end of the day, it's unfortunate just in that instance, and in instances similar where you just need a little bit stronger mechanics to put it on target. But nonetheless, the two teams are still battling this one out pretty evenly, mechanics or not. This has been a very tense back and forth, and either one of these squads could pop this open right now, because with 70 seconds remaining, the next goal is going to be very crucial. It might just be the last one of the game, and it's looking like it might go in favor of the Hurricanes here, because they've had a lot of offensive pressure. The Knights have had a couple of chances to break out of their own half, but haven't really gotten a solid offense together in quite some time, and as Surtee cuts that one off very early, it's looking like another offense will be shut down, or maybe not. Lynx Ray can't quite get the touch in the center, and all of a sudden the door has been opened up for the Knights. Can they get a solid offense together here? 50-50 out of midfield will leave it down to Green Jeans, who will try to get it back to center. Mercury with a dive into the center to try and maybe get a 50-50 to go on target, but instead it is saved. Once again, the Knights, now they have a bunch of offensive pressure. It's a flip of the script, but can they get a good shot? This one popped up. No one there, though. And the Knights are going to give up a ton of offensive pressure, as unfortunately they hesitate at the wrong moment.
Yeah, this is the problem that we're seeing with the Knights. They start getting something going, but they're getting beat because their number two man is really not there for them. And so the Hurricanes are able to clear that ball out and then start their own offensive push. And I will say, although the shots are only 4 to 5 or 5 to 4 in favor of the Knights, I really do think the Hurricanes have had the better opportunities, the scarier opportunities here. But we are likely, and as I say that, we are heading into overtime in game number 3. And game 2 and 3, which we've watched on stream, have both been into overtime. That's how equal, Bass, these two teams are.
Oh yeah, extremely equal, and it's even more impressive again because Not Surtee is a new player to the Hurricanes. They are still trying to figure out that flow, and I think that they might have just figured it out because again, the offense is electric. They are continuing to push here. All they need is one defensive error or one incredible shot, and they can secure this game. The Knights are doing a good job on defense, but again, this is the unfortunate truth. They're having to play pretty near perfect in order to endure this type of offense. If they make a mistake even once, like a double commit like that, it can leave them vulnerable, but Sir Hold Space gets in the way, and they will survive for now.
They're absolutely surviving this onslaught. What an exciting time. What an exciting game that we get to watch. the quality of play here is actually amazing. And you know what? I know that the Knights right now are pushing a little bit, but the Hurricanes have just been getting some awesome rotations on the offensive side. And I wonder, is it only a matter of time until they get lucky and they put that ball into the Knights' net?
There's a chance here, but the counterattacks, they do have to be careful. When they're pressing so aggressively like that, the Hurricanes do leave themselves a little bit vulnerable on defense, but so far they're surviving pretty well. The first real offense of the overtime for the Knights, and they will not score here, as it looks like the Hurricanes will launch their own counterattack, but they throw all three players out to midfield, so Surtees left by themselves here, and this could be a bad thing. If they can't delay long enough to get the teammates in place, it'll be an awkward defense, and indeed it is, but Surtees will bail them out at the right time. The super sub coming through with the most clutch save we have seen all game.
Oh man, not Surtees absolutely deserves the Savior Award for that one save, and I know that normally takes 3. That was an incredible save that keeps the Hurricanes alive and keeps their series hopes alive. Unbelievable play.
My oh my, both teams really starting to show their defensive prowess here. We had been complimentary of the defense before, but now it's going to be the offense which dazzles here. 2 minutes into overtime, and the Knights will indeed put in their second goal and secure themselves the series.
Oh, not Surtees. I keep wanting to call him Mr. T. Not Surtees. Small mistake here. And assumes that the ball is going to go out a little bit closer to the center, and instead another one of the Knights players comes in. We get a good tap in. Mercury gets both of the goals. I mean, 2 goals, the Knights secure the victory, the series victory, but there's still 2 games left to play. And I'm like, this has been really good play, Bass. This has been solid play by both teams. The Hurricanes have probably put in about 60 to 70% of the offense here. Really good solid rotations. But I guess the Knights defense is just that good and holding up, despite the fact they've only had 2 saves, which probably tells me that the best defender on the Knights is the crossbar in the posts.
It's very true. There is a very good possibility there. But I will say the defenses for both these teams are really starting to step up here. We had mentioned earlier how the panic would set in, and it really started to seem like teams weren't sure what to do once that happened. If you get a ball that kind of goes into no man's land where neither team really has a viable play on it, the teams start to panic a little bit. But I think that's starting to iron out now. The Knights are starting to seem a little bit more solid on the back end. The Hurricanes are starting to look a little bit more solid on the back end. The question is what level do we start to see out of the offense? Because we had said this before, we are a little bit critical of the accuracy we're seeing on the field. So, Hurricanes, if you don't want to let this series get too far out of hand and just have the Knights go 5-0 here, you got to start putting shots on target. There's no two ways about it. The more accurate you can be with your shots, the more pressure you're going to put on that defense.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct. And as we get into Game 4 here, I'm really curious to see if that's the one adjustment that they make, because I couldn't agree more with you that that is the adjustment to make. Get that accuracy going. Make sure that the chances that you're getting are fierce, are strong, and are dangerous, and that's the key.
Absolutely. There's no threat to an offense if your opponents don't believe that you're going to be able to score. So if they think that you're going to score at any moment, they're going to start getting scared. And again, that panic type of defense we had seen before is going to show itself once again. But for right now, the defense holding pretty strong here. Hurricanes, they are going to be the first ones on their back heel here, but they clear it all the way out. Linksray buys a little bit of time for his team, and maybe now the Hurricanes can start an offense of their own. Frog Dog in the corner wants to pop this to the centers. Links right there. Indeed they are, but the shot is off target. And again, the one thing we had been critical of, and there is a reason, another example of the Hurricanes with their inaccuracy, and it's going to cost them dearly, as the best chance so far here in game number 4 will go awry.
Yeah, you know what? The defense of the Knights had just broken down enough that the Hurricanes had a really good chance of getting a goal, but Linksray is just not able to close out that deal. And as a result, we're still finding ourselves in a 0-0 game, about 1 minute 15 seconds elapsed now, and this has been the story for the Hurricanes. I think for them, maybe they just need to hit those strength and accuracy training packs a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Maybe they're feeling panicked and kind of feeling the stress because they're not winning any. Hopefully sometimes losing the series enables someone to kind of relax a bit, and they can start playing their style of game instead of that style that they think they need to play to win.
And unfortunately for them, they also haven't necessarily found their style of game yet. As much as we are complimentary of the way that Not Sir T is starting to fit into this squad, it's going to take them a while to really find a good flow for all three players on the pitch. So Hurricanes doing a great job so far here, but they just need that little bit of extra push in order to take down the Knights, because so far they've had 2 overtimes in a row where they have not been able to get their first win. Maybe they can do it here, 0-0 with about 2 minutes gone, and the Hurricanes do look poised to possibly put in the first goal, but as another shot is just a bit inaccurate right to the only defender in net. Hurricanes still struggling with the same issues as before. Sir T tries to get a 50-50, but instead it's popped all the way out where where Frog Dog will be waiting but misses the touch, so Sir is going to be able to take it to the other end. I will say it's a little bit difficult. We've got Not Sir T and Sir Hold Space, so I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of surprised that's the first time I've messed up their names.
You know what? I have had to look. I've had to hit the tab button so many times to be like, which one is which one is which? Because, I have some of the names written down, but because Not Sir T came in at the very last minute here, it was unexpected, and it is tough. So, I really appreciate the work that goes in by these teams and by League Ops to make sure that people don't have the same names, because, man, this would be difficult if this was happening often.
Oh my word. I will say, my both least favorite and favorite cast, I actually didn't get to do myself. I was the host for a tournament where Astro and Astro, both the professional players, were in the same game. It was quite something, but something even more spectacular is the first goal we get of this game. Hurricanes finally strike here with a great shot from Lynx Ray into the top right, and the accuracy is finally on target.
Yeah, Lynx Ray is able to just pound that shot in with the side of their vehicle right off one of the corners of the hitbox, put that into the net for a 1-0 lead. And, the Hurricanes are finally leading. They're finally showing some definite good play. And just as I say that, Frog Dog comes in and smacks that ball in and says, you're not going to be the only one to come and get a goal. 2-0 for the Hurricane with still only 1 minute and 45 left in game number 4.
That's a banger of a goal. Wow. You can tell that the Hurricanes are back on top here. They really do have the confidence back, because you saw 2 players going for that one. That offensive pressure we had seen before, it has returned, but the question is, can they keep the accuracy up? So far, they're shooting 50% from the field, and that is a huge improvement from before. Can they keep this alive, though? Not Sir T up for this one. Fakes it out, though. I think he was hoping that Lynx Ray might bail him, but instead, that's now 2 players into the offense. The defense going to be a bit shaky, and Mr. Green Jeans will take advantage, bringing the lead in half.
Yeah, Mr. Green Jeans just up here for a beautiful pass from Sir Hold Space and just knocks that into the middle of the net. What a gorgeous play. And you know what? We have seen several goals from Green Jeans, and you know what? Super, super awesome shot there. That's not an easy shot to make sometimes when you're down and kind of feeling the pressure of wanting to get back on the board.
Yeah, it's very difficult to keep that clutch factor at moments like this, because with so little time remaining, you know that the pressure is on. And as we said before, the Knights might have secured the series, but this is more than just the series. Both these teams are very close in game differential, so giving yourself any sort of advantage possible in terms of game wins is going to be incredibly important. So right now, the Knights, they're trying to hold on to the series as tightly as they can. Oh my word, a 3-0 start is great, but they're going to have to keep it alive here. Saves like that will indeed keep it alive, and my oh my, Maple, the Knights doing the most to keep this one close.
Oh man, are the Knights ever working hard there. Mercury with just a phenomenal save to keep this a 1-goal game and to keep this within their grasp with only 30 seconds left. I'm impressed. The Knights are certainly putting on enough pressure, and they're kind of keeping a lot of the Hurricanes' shots to the outside here. And just as I say that, one of the Hurricane shots, sure enough, onto the side post there. So, the story of the game has been, or the story of the series so far has been inaccuracy. This game, we saw that change, but I don't know if we're going to see this in Game 5, because Mercury and the remainder of the Knights have been working really hard to keep this a close and tight game.
Yeah, this has got to be a close game here for sure. Hurricanes taking it in this close game, but the question is are the rest of them going to be like this? Hurricanes, you've done yourself at least one good thing. You will avoid the shutout here. No matter what, you take at least one game. But this game number 5 is going to be incredibly important. The difference here is astonishing. They win the next one. They only go -1 for the day. Means that they go exactly even overall so far for the season. If they lose this one, they go down by 2, and they bring themselves, I believe it's 6 games at that point away from the Knights. So this is an incredibly important game for the Hurricanes. As much as it is only one game, it is going to dictate their fate for the rest of this season and for what their playoff chances are significantly.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that interpretation. This is a big one. This is a chance for the Hurricanes to come back and say, all right, we really need to win the next game. We need to show that we had the chance to win this series. It's the players on the field. It is not their fault that they couldn't necessarily field a team, right? So we don't want to blame them. It is absolutely not their fault. Instead, in this case, they need to make the best of the situation that they've got, win this last game. Yes, they don't necessarily win the series, but as you said, it's only a 1-game differential. And in that case, it's really not that big of a deal if you lose 2-3 as opposed to if you win 2-3, right? But a 4-1 for the Knights is a significant difference. So if they win this game, that 3-game differential is massive. So let's see how this holds out. Let's see if the Hurricanes continue to pepper the net and if they can keep their accuracy as good as it was in the last game.
They're really going to have to do exactly that. Game number 5 underway here, and the Hurricanes have got to keep this momentum in their favor. A strong start would do them wonders. Maybe Sir T can do something here. He's got a dribble play, tries to get it around one, but instead the pinch actually going to go on target. Green Jeans has to just knock that one away, so Lynxray will get a shot! Oh my word! And we have been critical of the accuracy before, but they have ironed out all their issues and are snipers with the ball here. Lynxray off the top 90, and in it goes.
I am absolutely blown away by that goal. Lynxray's like, hey guys, I heard what you said. I heard what you were saying during the intermission. You want to see accuracy. You want to see strength and accuracy training pack. And he gives us an absolute clanger and right in the top right-hand side of that net to make it 1-0 for the Hurricanes. And here we go.
My, oh my, this is a great start for the Hurricanes here. If their accuracy can be like that, I've got to feel bad for them, though, because they're probably sitting here in comms going, where was that games 1, 2, and 3? Because they're now wishing that they could have had those ones back, because all of a sudden their offense is electric. Just unfortunate that it came during the second half of the series.
Yeah, it really is, and their offense is absolutely firing on all cylinders. Not Sir T bangs that off the back wall and right out to a waiting Lynxray, who makes no mistake, no accuracy issues, pounds that into the net for their second one of the game. And Lynxray already has 250 points. No other player on the other team, they don't even have 100 points combined.
It's kind of wild how much this is starting to turn into a game where the Hurricanes are just almost entirely in control. I feel like part of this might just be the fact that the wind was taken out of their sails after game number 1. They looked really good in game number 1, but the minute that they took that loss, the accuracy just started to plummet further and further, unfortunately. Finally, they get some confidence back, and the shots go back on target. So the Hurricanes doing a great job so far here in game number 5, but they've got to hold on. As we can see, the Knights are still poised to get a couple of goals here and possibly even tie the game up and get themselves a 4th win. But getting ahead of myself, right now it's actually the Hurricanes who are on offense, but that'll be cut off pretty quickly. This 50-50 out of midfield, this presence starting to show itself once again. We had heavy touches earlier in the series, but I thought we might have gotten past that, Maple. Seems like we may just go back to a little bit of a ping-pong match.
Well, I think that the Knights here are not quite sure what to do with the speed and the awesome rotations that the Hurricanes have come out with here, and they seem to be kind of banging it out of their end and just trying to dump it, collect some boost, and get going again. So I think that what we're seeing here is a little bit of stress, or actually quite a bit of stress, on behalf of the Knights as the Hurricanes really come to play here in game number 5.
Yeah, they've definitely pulled out all the stops right now. They're doing a great job showing that ace up their sleeve, and in my opinion, that ace might right now be not Sir T. Again, as the super sub here, he has done the most, really mixing in with the squad phenomenally so far here. And I gotta say, I really do hope that they keep him on the roster and keep him for a couple more games here. They might have, as you said, found a diamond in a rough towards the latter half of the season.
Yeah, because what a play this is Lynxray puts in his 3rd one. Lynxray pulling the hat trick, and still over almost half the game left here, but what a great self-pass here off of the back wall, out to himself, punches that in, 3-0 lead, and you were nailing it. I hope that they keep not Sir T.
I really do, because so far he has proven himself in this series, at least by my standards, and a pinch save there will do wonders to even show it further. 2 minutes remaining here. Hurricanes have just got to hold on, because at this point, with a 3-goal lead, you have got a lot of buffer room now. There's a huge safety net allowed for the team to where they don't necessarily have to press the offense as aggressively, but I don't think that's going to slow them down whatsoever. They seem to be finding their flow on offense, and when you can get passes like that, why not take a shot in the air? Lynx Ray finds their fourth from a phenomenal assist out of Frog Dog.
Oh, Frog Dog just has this great little kind of flick pass up high on the backboard, comes down to a perfect and happy waiting Lynx Ray, who punches it in for their fourth. Lynx Ray is already at 700 points with 2 minutes left. This is unreal. Lynx Ray has a 6.87 MVPR in game number 5. Still lots left.
Oh my, Lynx Ray really doing the most right now. Absolutely just a show my word, I was going to say shining star on the pitch, but oh wow, Sir Holdspace trying to prove that he can do it too. Lynx Ray with an inopportune pass, but Sir Hold with an insane shot to follow.
Yeah, what a read by Sir Holdspace, who's out in the number 2 slot. Sees that pass down, well, a mistaken clear attempt down from Lynx Ray, which ends up being a really solid pass. And he's able to, and they're able to, to put that right into the net, or right off the crossbar, and then able to tap that in kind of a nice little second touch. It's still a 3-goal game. I'm curious to see how the Hurricanes respond, or if the Knights are going to pull out the big old comeback here and show the moxie that they've got and what their team has made.
70 seconds remaining. I mean, it is possible, but they've got to work quick here. At this point, they don't have a lot of time to waste. Every offense they have has to be an efficient one, and they definitely cannot endure another goal. As the Hurricanes do build another offense, I do worry. If this 5th goal goes through here, Hurricanes definitely secure themselves that second game. If the Knights can get a goal here, it's not going to secure themselves a comeback, but it'll at least keep the door open. And as this one's popped into their half again and we start to see some hesitation out of the Knights, I'm thinking it's less and less likely than before. Hurricanes actually start tee up for this one and puts it right underneath the bar. And indeed, wow. I think the Hurricanes, if they had not secured it before, they've secured game number 5 now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Frog Dog, what a great read off the corner. The corner is the place that shows people's mistakes the most often. But not today. Frog Dog with a great read and pass off the corner to a waiting Sir T, who is up in the air and punches that in. And I think you're right. I think that's the nail in the coffin. To try and get 4 goals in 30 seconds, I mean, that's nearly an impossible feat, and just one I don't think that we're going to watch happen today.
Yeah, unfortunately, in order to score goals that quickly, you do have to have a pretty high level of skill. It's really difficult to get a kickoff goal just in general. To get a kickoff goal on repeat, basically, is what would be necessary if they had even started scoring at that minute mark even. Instead, they do not get any goals to finish this one off, and the Hurricanes instead will have the last strike of the series as they finish this one 5-1, maybe 5-2. Instead, the Knights actually make me eat my words and get one more for the road, but nonetheless, the result will be the same. Hurricanes take 2 games in the series while the Knights take the front half. Unfortunate scenario for the Hurricanes because, as we mentioned, they just didn't get to play game number 1 of the series.
Yeah, they didn't get to play that game, which is unfortunate. And I just want to point out that the caster's curse is alive and well, because you had said it. You had said, no, I think that's going to be the last one. They're going to get the last strike. Mercury must have heard that, rolls down the window and says, hold on now, just give us a second. We're working on it. And then just a beautiful read off the side there, able to put that into the net. It's a consolation goal. And as the players have said in chat as they GG each other, really great sportsmanship. You know, I know that both teams wish that they could have gone to a game 5, and it's unfortunate the way it worked out. But, you know, this is not the last I think we're going to see of either teams. I have a feeling that these teams are going to end up, one of these teams at least will end up in the playoffs. And I think we've got some great play to look forward to.
Oh, 100%. I think that these squads in the field here, both of them put up a valiant effort. And again, it's not out of question quite yet for the Hurricanes there. Because they were able to secure themselves at least 2 games, they only go -1 on the day, which brings them down to an even scoreline overall. I believe that now I think it's 20-20 overall for the team, which is not bad. That's still in playoff contention. If they can have a good enough final week, or final weeks here, they really can pull themselves back up, but it's going to be difficult. They need to have some heck of a series, or a couple series coming up, to put it simply. And It's not out of question, but it's going to be difficult, to put it simply, Maple.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is going to be difficult, to put it simply. You're right. It isn't quite out of the question yet. And you know what? I'm sure we'll see the stat lines as the week, or this week, finishes and next week progresses. But listen, that's going to be it for you and I for this game, Bass. But we're going to come back here shortly after about 7 or 8 minutes, and we're going to go to the CL Hurricanes and Hawks. So everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back. See you soon.